What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. I'm coming to you from my Miami hotel room as we are here for the Bitcoin Miami conference, but I gotta keep the CandleMafia updated on this price action as Bitcoin is approaching a very, very key level of support that, if held, guys, can give us that move up to about $29,000, which is about where the highs of our range is. However, it is not all bulls and butterflies. We do actually have some things popping up on the higher time frames that could indicate a move to the downside. And as you guys know, as we've been getting this bounce from our most recent lows from below the range, I have been being a little bit careful that price might be just coming up to put in a lower high before returning back to the downside to put in another lower low. So I want to go ahead and show you guys kind of the situation we're in right now, because again, if we hold these levels of support that we're approaching right now and we can get some bullish confirmations, it could lead to a big bounce for Bitcoin. However, I also want to show you guys the two bearish things I'm looking at that, if they do print and confirm, could wind up giving us another move down. And then, I will give you that line in the sand to where I am going to be flipping a little bit more bearish and where I would be looking below us for some new long positions. So guys, this is going to be a super quick market update, as Bitcoin really has not moved much even since my last market update from last night. So let's just go ahead and jump right into the charts and take a look at what we got going on. Let's get into it. So guys, here we are on the Bitcoin 4-hour chart. And, I just got off my premium live stream with the, everybody in our premium Discord, or the kitchen, as I like to call it. And I do just kind of want to go over something I was looking at with them, guys, because as you guys know, I did wind up shorting this move all the way down from the range highs all the way down to our range lows. As you guys know, if you watch the channel, this is essentially how we trade. We just find sideways ranges and we look for bearish confirmations at the highs, we short those, and then we look for bullish confirmations at the lows and we long those, right? So basically, I was looking at this short position. Now, this is way long gone, right? Obviously, I've already taken profit on this trade, but I do kind of want to talk about what was going on here and why I was looking to get into the short position, because we are seeing something very similar happen right now. So as you guys can see, we got a breakdown below this value area high, came up, bearishly retested, and this is where I looked to get into my long position, right? We had money flow coming out on Market Cipher B, amongst other things that were giving me confirmation to go short from this level, and I entered the short, and obviously it played out in full, plus some, as we broke the lows of the range right here. However, really, when we look at the volume profiles, guys, we look to trade a simple plan. When you break below the value area high, look for the bearish retest. If you get stuck below that level, you are likely getting accepted back into this range, and it would be very likely for price to eventually get a move back down to your value area low, which we obviously saw happen perfectly right here. Now, when we look for long positions at the lows of the range, we look for something very similar, as in a deviation, a break back below the level, and a retest before looking to long or short back to the other end of the range. And if you guys take a look here, kind of what we have going on here was a deviation from the range, a break back into it, and now we could potentially be on our way to bullishly retest, right? So that would be basically this area of this short trade where we come in, bearishly retest. That's where you're looking for your entry to short, right? And we broke below, broke back into the range, and now we are potentially going to bullishly retest this value area low, coming in at about $27,000 or $26,800. And if we wind up coming down, testing this level, and we get bullish confirmations at that value area low, this is where we could potentially get a bigger move up for Bitcoin. First off, targeting this level here, the point of control, at about $28,050. And then if we can break that level, that's where we would expect a move up to our value area high, coming in closer to about $29,000, right? So it's the same exact thing, but just flipped upside down. Right here, we were looking for the breakdown, retest, the move to the value area low, and now we are looking for the breakdown, retest, shot up to the value area high, right? And what I was doing in the premium live stream was I was just inverting the chart, right? We got breakdown, bearish retest, dump down to the other end of the range. If you go ahead and invert the scale here, it's almost the exact same thing, right? Breakdown, bearish retest, that's where you'd expect to dump down to the bottom of the range. But of course, I just inverted this, so we all know that's actually the top of the range, right? So I just kind of really, like I said, price action pattern really hasn't moved a lot, but I kind of saw this in the premium live stream and saw it as a really good teachable moment for the Candle Mafia to how we trade these ranges, right? So this is the next key level that I am looking at, guys, for a potential confirmation to go long. This would be an area where I'd be interested in taking a new long position, again, only if we get confirmations, right? Because there is obviously a possibility that we wind up breaking the range and coming lower, where there is one more level down here that I am looking for long that we'll talk about in a second. However, obviously, once we get back below this range, if we don't get back up above it very quickly, we could wind up getting a little bit more bearish. And I want to talk about that line in the sand for me where I flip more bearish in just a second. So, guys, that's basically the bullish case, right? If we come down, bullishly retest, if we get confirmations, that's where I'm looking for a long. However, we do have some things popping up on the higher time frames that could suggest that we may have just been coming up here to make a lower high before continuing lower. So I want to give you guys that case as well. And it all starts here on the 10-hour. Now, we do have a 10-hour red dot printing. I am actually very surprised this is not a blood diamond. Typically, you do get those blood diamonds when you have the red dot printing close to the zero line. But luckily, we did not get it. However, we are printing that 10-hour red dot. So we may be able to, that may be able to break us below this range where I will not be getting bearish just yet, right? Because if we come down and we break this range, right, we come down a little bit lower, say down here, we would still technically be putting in a higher low, in which case we would just look for the bullish retest of the value area low a little further down the line, right? So really what I'm looking at here is if we do confirm this 10-hour red dot, which is probably going to happen in about 2.5 hours, if we do confirm that red dot, guys, basically what I'll be looking for is, a move below the range. Also, we have our 12-hour red dot looking to print and our 16-hour red dot looking to print as well. And the reason why this is, somewhat of an important thing is not just because the red dots are looking to print, but if you come down to those correlating sister time frames, you got your 12-hour and your 16-hour red dot. So I would be coming down here, looking at the 30-minute, the 45-minute, the 90-minute, and the 1 hour for money flow crossovers into the red for a continued move to the downside. Now, you guys know when you get those 12-hour and 16-hour red dots, sometimes with a 1 hour money flow crossover or a 45-minute money flow crossover or even a 90-minute money flow crossover, that can give us a powerful move to the downside. So this is kind of the bearish scenario I'm looking at. And if we print those red dots and they do wind up pushing us a little bit further down, the next and last level of support that I would be willing to look for longs at will be essentially, simply just the golden pocket retracement of this entire move up, right? And that does come in at about, top of the golden pocket comes in at 26,514, and then the bottom of that golden pocket does come in at about 26,450. And, a lot of times, obviously, you guys know price likes to come up, right? We put a low in, you come up, you make a high, and then you come down, test the golden pocket, put in a higher low, and then you're able to put in a higher high, which coincidentally would likely come in at your point of control right here at about $28,050. So if we are able to come back down and break this range, guys, I will be looking for life support, or not really life support, but I will be looking for a higher low at this local golden pocket, and then, maybe we wick down to the 786, which again, as long as we don't start making lower lows from these wicks, and we could still put in that higher low, I may be looking for long positions there with specific confirmations, right? We're not just blindly longing these levels. So that is kind of the two scenarios I see playing out here, guys. Both, obviously, the second one would require a little bit more downside, but both bullish scenarios for retests at higher lows where I will be looking for potential long positions, right? Now, the line in the sand for me essentially is going to be the 786, guys. If we break below the 786 and cannot get back above it, that is where I do think there is a possibility that we break through our low volume gap and continue this move down, in which case it would be pretty clear that this was just this was just price coming up to put in a lower high before continuing down to lower prices, right? And in which case, if we lose that 786 and it's not just a quick wick below and then a close above these levels, if it is a sustained move and we can't get back above here, that's where, those lower targets of about 25.3 are likely to be the next stop. So we're kind of at a middle grounds here, guys. As we approach the value area low as support, those are kind of the most likely scenarios scenarios I see playing out, guys, and that is basically the line in the sand where I am looking to flip bearish. Again, it would be the loss of that 786 at about $26,200 that I think would open the door to come down to some lower prices for Bitcoin, essentially, finally breaking the lows of this range. And then again, it would be very clear that this was just price coming back up to put in a lower high, which was a decent place to put in a lower high, guys, because if you go ahead and you pull your local golden pocket from your highs right here, you pull it all the way through this whole move to the downside, you can see we did come up, test that golden pocket, which is, again, just like it's a place where price likes to put in higher lows to the downside. When you're coming up, price likes to put in lower highs at these golden pockets, which is why it was one of those levels that we were looking at in the premium Discord for a short setup that we fed to that kitchen or the premium Discord. Shout out to anybody in the kitchen. But we did put that setup in the Discord here, and it absolutely slapped right down to our key level. I'll actually go ahead and pull up the chart. You guys can see it absolutely played out in full right to our golden pocket. So that was a beautiful setup. Shout out to everybody in the kitchen. We had some people make some decent money on that move. We had someone make $4,000. Somebody made $1,000. So shout out to them, and shout out to anybody who saw that setup. But again, guys, the reason I bring that up is because, again, we look for these lower highs just like we look for the higher lows at the golden pockets, and that's how a lot of times you can catch these fire trades. But that is essentially what I am looking at as far as price action today, guys. Obviously, like I said, not too much has changed since my update last night. But I just kind of wanted to give you guys those key levels because I did that update on my phone. It wasn't really the best situation. I kind of wanted to get here on the computer and really kind of dig in and show you guys exactly what I'm looking for, show you those 12 and 16-hour red dots looking to print with our money flow coming out, and then just kind of show you those last steps that I'm looking at. If those do bring us down, I am still looking for longs, but once you break that 786 decisively and we cannot get back above it, that's where I'm expecting a quicker move down. So with all that being said, guys, that's all the time I got for today's market update. If you guys found this useful, don't forget to subscribe to the channel. And if you guys want to check out the premium Discord where we caught that fire scalp short yesterday, go ahead and check the link in the description down below. If you're not ready to spend money on a premium product, go ahead and get in that free Discord. Tons of value in there as well. And we're actually changing some things around in the free Discord. So definitely get in there. It's about to get even saucier than it already is. And with all that being said, guys, I think that's all the time I got for today's market update. See you in the next one. Frankie Candles out.
Here we go. At the top of the class on a roll. And it's time to run it up, yeah, you know. Maxed out, put the pedal to the floor. Hey, on the road, here we go, here we go. Yeah, we winning by a landslide. Never see me coming, I'm a landmine. Yeah, I ain't taking orders in command, like, yeah, you about to see me on demand.